shortly before they separated. Then she pulls herself together and a smile spreads across her face. "We're so lucky they chose us as tenants, Gwen." "It really was meant to be," I grinned back at her. It's the first time she's been without a frown in ages. And I know recently I've headed abroad in autumn, but she's helped me so much in the last 4 years since I lost my brother Ned. If I can be here to help her kickstart her brand new life, it's the least I can do in return. In reality, us landing the lease on this cottage was less about serendipity and more about Ella's dogged determination. Moving to a Cornish village by the sea had been Ella and her ex Taylor's dream for ages. As best friends who'd been together since the first week at uni, they seemed so solid as a couple. They were the ones who'd done the grown-up stuff when the rest of us were still messing about. I mean, I'm 32, and since I moved on from being a perennial chalet host, I still don't properly know what I want to be yet. They'd married, moved around, done up houses, had successful careers for so long that Taylor had even moved on to a new one. They'd been to Cornwall so often, their holiday let bookings rolled from one year to the next. Pretty much all they had left to do was to have kids and get some monogrammed towels saying the Simpson Ramseys. And then Taylor fell in love with the head of sport at the school where he was doing his probationary teaching year, and Ella's whole world imploded. Ella's an interior designer, and as she picked up the pieces of her life, her London-based office landed a contract with a developer building luxury holiday homes in the southwest. This was the opportunity she'd been longing for, a job she could walk into, for the firm she already worked for, and she was galvanised to make the move to Cornwall. With Cornish rents going through the ceiling, the living options weren't looking great for a single person, but she didn't give up. She spent more time on the St Aidan Facebook page than the residents, so when the rental ad for Stargazy Cottage popped up one afternoon, she jumped on it within seconds of it appearing. Trinauden, and Trinauden Solicitors. Harborside, St Aidan. On behalf of an esteemed but absent client, we are offering the tenancy of Stargazy Cottage, Welk Row, St Aidan. Sound but slightly tired, 3 bedrooms, would benefit from TLC. Prospective tenants should be willing to carry out minor renovations and redecoration while in residence. A suitable sum has been allocated to pay for work and materials. A below-market rental figure will reflect the practical contribution the tenants will be making to improve the property. Would suit friends, sharing, or a couple. DIY/handy person skills an advantage. Full-time residents only, please. On successful completion of the works, the tenancy will be reoffered at the same rate should the tenants wish to extend. Please apply in the first instance to George Trinauden. Talk about good luck. If they'd written their ideal tenant description, it would be Ella down to a T. Not only is she an interior designer, she and Taylor have renovated so many homes together she can do it in her sleep. She had to be the perfect choice. Knowing the cottage so well too, she was already a jump ahead of the opposition. 2 seconds after she spotted the ad, Ella was on the phone to me at my temporary job at a summer language school near Brighton, which was officially in housekeeping but basically consisted of ferrying kids to and from the airport. I was actually on the M25 heading towards Heathrow when she suggested we join forces and I move to Cornwall with her. I'm flexible about where I go, so long as there aren't any mountains. So by the time I reached the arrivals hall, I was 100% on board, and Ella swung into action. She fired off those first phone calls and emails so fast, we assumed Stargazy Cottage had to be ours. But with a deal this good, there wasn't just a lot of interest, there was a stampede. We ended up sending dossiers and having a series of Zoom interviews, which were then viewed by a committee. I mostly left the talking to Ella and hoped no one would realise what a rookie I was. We thought Ella's local work confirmation would be our golden card, but that still wasn't enough, so we moved on to blind blags and wild claims, always trying to second-guess what they were looking for, so we could go one better than the opposition. We never knew exactly what swung it for us. Like all the tensest interviews, we both had brain freeze after every one, so we're hazy about what promises we actually made. But when we've just signed the lease for a cottage as close to our hearts as this one, in one of Cornwall's prettiest villages, with the promise of a forever tenancy, we're not going to look back. And the rest, as they say, is history. Ella is all set to start her new job, and I'm hoping to find some temporary work now I'm here. Obviously for me, with my perennially itchy feet, The move is less of a whole lifetime.